cook like a Greek. What does that mean? For Greeks, food is love, and the kitchen is the heart and soul of the Greek household, where the family shares meals and spends time together, where the matriarch, or in my case, the patriarch, dispenses advice and food. Lots of food. All the food. And that's what this show is all about. A little bit of advice, a little bit of cooking, and a lot of love. Welcome, my friends. Today we'll be making baklava. But first, we're going to go to the Greek Dad Advice inbox. Hey, Greek Dad, is there one single bit of advice that you would consider the best advice for relationships? Mr. Best Advice Seeker. Listen here, Mr. Best Advice Seeker. There's no silver bullet for relationships. There's no bit of advice that's going to help you have successful relationships. We're all going to fail. Everyone's going to hate you. And you're going to die sad and alone. That's really horrible. I should be ashamed of myself. Okay, but seriously, I have advice for that, what I consider to be really good advice. And like most simple bits of advice, it sounds a lot easier to do. And we'll get more into that later. But first, we're going to go get into the ingredients for baklava. As you saw when I was making the baklava, I pre-cut the tops. Before you serve it, you have to finish cutting it. So I'm going to cut this piece here. Obviously, this is after it's been syruped. You cut the piece out, and here is a nice, lovely piece of baklava that we're going to try in just a second. Right, the baklava has been cut, has been plated. Here's a beautiful shot of the baklava. Nice camera close-up, here we go. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna get into my advice, and we'll wrap up the show. So good. I'm glad that I give most of my baklava away, because I would gain so much weight eating, because it's so good. I love it so much. And it's hard to go wrong with baklava, you know, butter, sugar, cinnamon, pecans, or whatever nuts you want to use. So good. All right. When I say don't be a complication in someone's life, I don't mean settle for whatever garbage they want to send your way. Don't put up with garbage. Give people the boot if they can't treat you the way you deserve to be treated. Be aware that we all have stuff going on in our lives. In personal relationships, maybe someone you're dating is going to school. Maybe they have a lot of stress at work. You know, maybe, you know, they have kids of their own. Whatever. We all have stuff going on. In business relationships, you're not the most important thing in the business relationship with somebody. Be aware of that. Understand that you are just one of the many variables in someone's life, and don't create more problems for them by having unreasonable expectations, unreasonable demands on their time. If you have certain expectations of how much time you want somebody to spend with them, then don't date someone who's going through medical school. Just one bit of advice there. Because they're not going to be able to get that to you. And understand it, it's okay. And it's okay to say this relationship isn't working for me. We need to move on. That's not a bad thing. That's the purpose of dating, is figuring out what's working for you. So yeah, don't create complications in people's life. Be the easiest thing in someone's life. And understand there's ebbs and flows in relationships. There's times when stuff in your life is going to be crazy, and you're going to need your partner to be understanding, and vice versa. It's not always going to be horrible, and if it's always horrible and it's always hard, then maybe you need to rethink whether or not you need to be in this relationship, because it shouldn't always be hard. Life throws storms at you, you deal with them, you move on. It shouldn't always be hard. Be understanding, be aware of what people can bring to the table and what they bring to the table, and be reasonable in your expectations, and don't be the hard part in the relationship. And if you find yourself being the hard part, then maybe it's time to do some self-examinations. So thank you very much. The food has been tasted. The advice has been given. I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to follow this channel and like and share the video. If you're looking for advice, or you want to say hi or send a message, you can find me on Twitter at HeyGreekDad. Or you can find me on Facebook. You can send a message to @TheGreekDad, or find my Facebook page, The Greek Dad. If you're interested in any sponsorship or product placement opportunities, you can go to thegreekdad.com, cook like a Greek. And don't worry if you didn't get all that down, because it's all in the description below. Thank you. See you next time.